was flipping through an old planner the other day, and you know, to me, an old planner is like an old photo album or an old scrapbook. I was reminiscing on the old memories, the old pictures, and all the notes and reflections that I had at that time in my life. But while I was also flipping through my old planner, I was also struck about how the different things that I included in that one planner. Specifically, the ways that I use the planner notes and the planner dashboard pages. Now, if you're not familiar with dashboard pages, they are pages in your planners that you can find from a number of planner brands. And it's usually before the month or right after the month, kind of like a blank page that you can use for whatever. But a company that includes a dashboard page in every planner that they sell pretty much is Erin Condren. Now, you can totally recreate this dashboard or the dashboard ideas that I'm going to talk about in this video in any other planner. But in today's video, I'm going to share 4 different ideas on ways that you can use your dashboard pages, and actually it's 5 ideas because the 5th one is going to be the way in which I use my dashboard pages in my Erin Condren life planner. Now, if we have any dashboard page enthusiasts watching this video, make sure to drop a comment down below. Let me know how you are using those dashboard pages in your planners. Hey y'all, my name is Lauren here with Plan with Laur. I am your best friend and your go-to gal when it comes to all things planning, productivity, and how to use the resources that you have to plan today for a better tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to be talking about different ways that you can use your Erin Condren, or quite frankly, any planner's dashboard pages. I'm going to demo them here for you live in this video so you can see exactly how you can start to incorporate some of this into your personal planning. Now, let's talk a little bit about the particulars of this Erin Condren dashboard layout. Now, the dashboard layout has 4 boxes of different sizes and designs. In the top right corner, we have a box with 4 bullet points. Beneath that, you have 2 boxes, an open and unlined box on the left and a lined box on the right. And at the bottom of the page, there is a dot grid box that spans the width of the page. Now, when I looked at the page for the first time, I'm not gonna lie, I literally said, what the heck is this? But once you start toying with and formatting, you realize that the dashboard pages afford you a flexible structure to maximize the function of your planner. Now, the 4 categories ideas that I'm gonna be talking about specific to this dashboard layout are gonna be around themes. Y'all know I love a good theme. So I'm gonna show you different dashboard layouts that you can make regarding budgeting, goal setting, memory keeping, and content creation, as well as, like I said, what I do in my dashboard. So budgeting is something that I see a lot of paper planners do in their planner, and I also think it's also one of the most common layouts that I see of this particular dashboard page. Some of the most creative people turn these dashboard pages into beautiful budget spreads or a super functional overview of their finances and budget. And while I don't currently use a planner to track my finances, I'm on that digital train with finances. When I did, I would always go to the dashboard section. So let's break this down by area. Here in the open goal, if you have a savings or financial goal, I think one of the most empowering things to do is create a visual tracker of some kind. This open area has plenty of space to create a visual tracker with milestones. I've used the bullet point section to create budget goals for the month. If you've ever done a budgeting program, sometimes they'll say, this is a no spend month on coffee to go, or this month we're saving X amount towards your goal. This bullet section is where I would list those goals for the month. Now in the line section, I would recommend dividing it down the middle with 2 columns. You can have a before and after the month snapshot of your account balances to track your progress over the course of the month. And at the dot grid or the graph paper section at the bottom, this dot grid section gives you a lot of flexibility where you can track bill due dates. You could also sketch out a trip planning budget or small home project budget in this section. It's likely not big enough to do a full encompassing like spending tracker or anything like that. So my suggestion here would be to use the lined page in front of the dashboard pages in this planner to go ahead and track your spending or have additional space for your month-to-month budget. Goal setting is another super popular application of the dashboard pages. This is an opportunity to think about your goals and keep them front and center every single month. So it's easy to be able to crack open every single time you look at your planner. And honestly, I think that this layout works really well to support your goals in your planning system. So let's break it down. Let me show you how you can use this for goal setting. So for the bullet point section, I think there are 2 different things that you can do here. First, you can go off and list out your goals for the month if you have 4 or less goals. Now, I think 4 is a great place to start on being able to make action and be successful on your goals for the month. And remember, you want your goals to be something that are realistic and things that are achievable and within your control. And then additionally, if you don't want to list out your goals there, maybe you have them somewhere else on the dashboard pages, you could also use those 4 bullet points as big highlights from the month to make sure that you are always celebrating your small wins and progress. Then you can use the open area to create a visual habit tracker. You could do a long form reflection at the end of the month. In a goal setting dashboard, you could use the line section to add some inspirational quotes or to list an intention for your goal this month. Something like, I am working on my goals this month because, and in the dot grid section, you can list out all of the action steps that you need to accomplish in your goal. Now, I love the dot grid because it's so easy to segment a large space into smaller columns so you can create a little bit of a dedicated space towards each goal. Now, my bonus tip for goal setting is to go ahead and use that line page next to it as a reflection throughout the month, so you can either write out how you're feeling from during the month while you're setting the goals, or as a reflection page at the end of the month to come back, see, what you're doing well, where you could make improvements, and, just take stock of what your goal setting looked like for the past month. Next, we're gonna move forward to memory keeping. Now, you guys know that I absolutely love memory keeping, especially memory keeping in planners, and the dashboard pages I think are a great way to do some form of memory keeping that aren't overwhelming, that aren't too much, and that are like kind of low pressure and low stakes, but you still get a really awesome memory spread at the end of every single month. We can use the bullet points to note 4 specific events from the month. You can write 4 big things that happened or 4 things that put a smile on your face. You can also use that bullet section to write 4 things that you're grateful for that month. So if you wanted to incorporate an element of gratitude in that. Now, on the open area on the left-hand side of the page, I think this is a great place to recap the highlights of your month. If you took a trip or watched a great movie or even just took your dog out for a sunset walk one day, you can keep track of your favorite moments. Now, in the line section, I think this is a great way to be able to expand more and further on your memory from the month. It's not a lot of space, so you can't necessarily write a huge old journal entry, but you can write some things down. And so at the bottom of the page, I think there are really 5 awesome highlights. I love this idea. I saw myself do this in one of my old planners, and it was so fun to see the difference that these answers had from a month-to-month basis. So the prompts are what I'm listening to this month, both in music and in podcasts. What I'm reading this month, again, books, magazines, articles. What I'm eating this month, favorite meals that you made or things that you got when you went out. What I'm seeing this month, both locally and on any trips that you may be going on. And what I'm loving. And so this is kind of like a catch-all for anything that you discovered in the month. My bonus tip here for this section, and one thing that I highly, highly recommend if you're gonna do some form of memory keeping in the dashboard page, is to use that notes page that is directly right beside it as a little bit of a memory spread. Go ahead, print out, whether you use a Canon IV mini printer or you just print off photos from your local CVS or Walgreens, print out some photos, cut them up, and put them on that page right next to all of the memories that you just jotted down. Now, if you don't want the picture aspect, you could just do a long form kind of journal entry about your month and things that you're thinking about it. But y'all know me, I love adding photos wherever you can. So my next idea is for all of those content creators out there, whether you have a YouTube page, an Instagram, a blog, you're doing it for work, whatever it may be. I think that these dashboard pages are a great out-of-month glance and summary for your month of content creation. In the bulleted section, my idea here is to chart out big collaborations or launches in the month, or the important dates that you want to build your content plan around. In the open area, I love this space to brainstorm ideas for different posts and, quite frankly, just different ideas that I come up with during the month. I use this plus the 4 bullet points to help create my content plan both for this month and beyond, because sometimes not all the ideas come to fruition, but I don't want to forget about them because they were things that inspired me, which means they can inspire me for a month later down the line. In the line section, here I would go ahead and split it up into 2 sections and track different social media accounts and their total following from a month to month. Again, this is just a nice before and after snapshot to keep track of how my community is growing. One thing that I want to mention for content creators is that your follower count really doesn't matter at all. I personally like to track it because I like to see if there was a big jump or a big decline or whatever it is, and then use that information. I don't really care about the follower number, but then use that information to then go into my analytics and see what things changed or what brought people to my page, or maybe what made people go away from my page, and use the numbers more as a tool of analytics to see what's working and what's not working, not really obsessing over the actual number count of followers. And the dot grid section is where I like to track the content that's performing the best throughout the month. A big part of content creation, quite frankly, is just throwing a bunch of things out there, seeing what sticks, what doesn't stick, what's working well, what's not working well. And I think that this dot grid section at the bottom is kind of a godsend when I'm planning out the future months. My pro tip and bonus for that line page, again, is to be able to use it as a way of a reflection. I think other ideas that you can do are write down just like collaborations that you want to happen, or track different hashtags, things that you want to get into. I think it's just another place that you can go more depth into your analytics and your own personal goals for content creation. Okay, and so the last thing that I'm going to show you guys here is how I use my dashboard pages this year in 2021, what I'm currently doing in my Erin Condren. Now, I've given you all of these ideas, but I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm doing in my Erin Condren A5 softbound planner. This for me is more of a journal from day to day, but it's a planner I'm really consistent in, and it's the dashboard pages that I am using. I will say, as a multiple planner user, I don't necessarily use the dashboard pages in every single one of my planners, so I've elected to use them specifically in my Erin Condren A5 softbound. Now, one of my biggest tips that I'm just going to give you in life is that take what you need and modify it for your life. So I just gave you 4 different great examples that you can use in goal setting, budgeting, content creation, or memory keeping. And you'll see that my dashboard pages takes a little bit from each of those sections to create something that is perfect and unique for me. So take what works, modify it for your life, and find something that's going to be realistic and something that's going to make you excited and want to fill out this dashboard page on a month-to-month basis. And just a reminder, as in anything with planning, every single month is great because you get a fresh dashboard page. So if you do goal setting one month and then budgeting next month, that's the beauty of a planner. You can use it in whatever capacity, and it's literally a blank slate that changes from month to month. Okay, so let's talk about mine. In the bulleted sections, I list 4 specific things that I'm grateful for. Now, I borrowed this gratitude section from the goal setting dashboard that I talked about earlier, but I think gratitude is just such an important part, and I try to remember the biggest things that I'm grateful for on a month-to-month basis. In the open area on the left, I recap my main highlights and important things that happened to me this month. Now, I borrowed this recap idea from the memory keeping section that I told you about. In the line section, I do a recap on how my social media platforms are tracking over time. The before and after snapshot I was talking about, I took this from the content creation dashboard idea. And in the graph section, I personally like to include a small photo and talk about my favorite memory from the month. It, one, brings a smile to my face, and again, is another idea that I pulled from memory keeping. Y'all, like I said, I took all the things that I love, I put them together on my dashboard pages. Let me know if any of those ideas resonated with you and what you are going to be using on your dashboard pages. I'd love to read it in the comments down below. And that is all that I have for you guys in today's video. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you found this helpful and that you stick around by hitting that red subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday and Thursday. I'm gonna link everything we talked about in this video in the description down below. And as always, y'all, my name is Lauren here with Plan with Laur, and I'll see y'all next time.